Good morning. Day 4. Still at it. Super committed. I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. Just so you know, airline tickets are always very cheap on Tuesday mornings. That's my little trick. I always buy, usually, depending on my finances, of course, I usually buy plane tickets on Tuesday mornings. So check it out if you're trying to plan some trips. Check it out today. They usually drop the prices on Tuesdays. Um, What do I want to talk about today? Yesterday was an awesome day. I did something I normally would never do in LA, and I was in just such a good headspace yesterday when I woke up and was feeling like kind of on top of the world. Like I am in control of my emotions and my life and my choices, and I'm just on a really good roll right now. And I was waiting at the bus stop. I was a little bit stressed. I think I just missed the last bus. And I hitchhiked in Costa Rica like every day. That's kind of the culture of it when you don't have a car. And for tourists, it's totally safe and fine. But, in LA and in the United States in general, it's pretty taboo to hitchhike. Um, but, anyways, I sit at the bus stop on Hollywood or on Sunset and Highland every day. And many times people will pull over and be like, hey, do you need a ride? They're like, do you not want to wait for the bus? I'm always like, no, that's weird. We all stay in our own little bubble, blah, 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 blah. But yesterday, this boy pulled up and he had like a little scooter. It was like a little motorcycle. And he was like, hey, do you want to ride? Like, where are you going? And I was like, of course, I was like my same thing, like do what my mom would want me to do or my Aunt Michelle would want me to do and say, no, 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 I got it by myself. And I was like, but I'm going to Westwood. I'm just waiting for the bus to go to work. And the light turned green and he pulled all the way around. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever, it's fine. But he was like, why don't you just come with me? I was like, no, I don't have a helmet because I know that my Aunt Michelle always wants me to wear a helmet for everything, and I won't get on a motorcycle without a helmet. So he's like, I have an extra one. And I was like, sounds really fun. I love motorcycles. I love going fast. I love boats. I love all of that. So he was like, you're overthinking it. Like, do you want to go or not? And I kind of just checked in with myself in that moment. It's like, is this safe? Like, is this person actually trying to hurt me, or is he just trying to have a fun time and help me out? And I had no bad vibes about it, so I went for it. And I took this amazing motorcycle ride all the way to work, beat all the buses, got there early so I could eat breakfast, which was great. And it was awesome. And I just kind of was checking in with the part of me that is very afraid of life and wants to say no and is just very afraid and wants to be safe and make the right choices. And there's also this other part that just trusts that everything's going to be okay and trust my own intuition about it, because there have been situations where I get a really strong, urge like, no, walk away, leave this situation, get out. But honestly, that's so rare. I mean, most people, 90% of people are just like all of us, just living their lives, maybe wanting to do something nice for another person, meet somebody new. And it was really fun. I'm really glad that it took a moment of kind of bravery to just be like, to trust my own gut that said that this is fine. Go have fun, have fun and be spontaneous. And it was a really great time. And now I really want to buy a motorcycle. Yeah, such a great day yesterday in general. And now I'm waking up super, super early all the time because I've kind of gotten this routine, and I wake up and I'm ready to go already. So it's kind of nice. But another thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit is I've been kind of in this conflict with a friend, and it's about something very, very small, but I still felt that we kind of talked about it, but I still felt like there was a conflict there. And so I decided last night to reach out to this person and be like, hey, I still feel, some like heaviness, some tension like in this, and I would love to go into it. And to be truthful, it's like about like a text exchange. He was he sent me like this really nice message, and I didn't get the chance to really go over it or to respond, or I chose to not respond um, until like about a week later. And by that point, he was really frustrated and felt like that it was his vulnerability, like in his original message, had made me feel uncomfortable. When in fact, once I read the message, I was like, oh, that's so nice. Like, thank you so much. And and it was I only felt annoyed, like whenever he was like, hello, like, are you going to respond to me? Are you going to respond to me? Are you going to respond to me? You know, that kind of thing. When in at that time, I did have a lot going on. I was really, really stressed out. It was really hard for me to come back after a really awesome trip to Colorado. It was pretty hard transition to jump right back into work and dance and all this crazy stuff right in LA. Um, and so we just went into it. So it felt, the point that I'm trying to make is like, it felt very petty to talk and like divulge into like this one or two or three text messages, like about what is actually going on here, like what. And there's like this part of in both of us, I recognized it in him and I recognized it in myself of, I'm over it though, like it's cool, I'm over it, I'm over it, I'm over it. Or me just like, I'm sick of talking about this, I don't want to talk about it anymore. But it's like that, whenever we get into a conflict, it's like it's getting closer and closer and closer, and it feels petty. Like we're talking about moments, we're talking about words, like very small things, small details. And but whenever we decide to like, no, I'm over it, I don't want to talk about it anymore, you get further away from actually finding a solution. And I think that that is why so many relationships remain in tension or have this heaviness to them, at least in my life, is because I'm not willing to just kind of stay in the fire and just stay with it and just be like, yes, we're in this conflict right now. We're not agreeing on this, and that's okay. And we're going to continue to talk about it. We're going to continue until we kind of reach a middle ground, because there is. If both people are coming at it from a place of like, of just openness and honesty, like anything is possible. Any solution is possible. I mean, there's obviously a lot of ways that this can get really mixed up. If there's power play, if there's like like a manipulation and all of that. But like in general, if we bring up our issues and really follow them through all the way to the end, like be really honest about how we feel now or when a conflicting situation arose, there's anything can be solved. Really, anything can be solved coming from that place. And I've just, it's interesting because there is a big part of me that resists confrontation, that's like, oh my God, we're fighting, our relationship must be shit. Like, oh my God, I can't believe we're fighting, this is horrible. There is that part of me, but whenever I just kind of am like, okay, we're fighting, like we're not getting along, we're in an argument right now, or in a disagreement, and just stay with it, there's a part that just kind of loosens up. And I found myself like even able to laugh at like how stubborn we're both being about this. Like how stubborn I'm being, how like it's just funny. It's fine that everybody gets into conflict sometimes. And I'm surprised at my own lightheartedness in the face of confrontation, when usually I feel like a piece of me is devastated, like that this is a symbol that our relationship is not working. Um, but as many people say, it's about how you fight, how you argue, like what you bring to the table. And I think that that persistence of like, no, this matters to me, I want to come to a common ground, I want to feel the tension released, kind of proves that you care about that relationship and you're willing to ride it out and not, cave on how you feel necessarily, or not waiting for one person to succumb to the other one, but just talking about it, really going there and talking about all the pieces to really divulge what exactly happened. Because in a lot of the conflicts that I've had, there's usually a ton of assumptions. And whenever we make assumption, like an assumption, I feel I feel in this particular conflict that there was a big assumption that whenever I didn't respond, that the that I didn't like the message or that he said something wrong. When in fact, that's not really how I felt at all. I was like, oh, that's such a nice message once I actually read it. And so, in the silence of like a no response, there's a lot of times we make up a lot of things with that silence of like, oh, like, and I'm definitely guilty of this too. Of somebody doesn't respond to me, I make up, oh, they're pissed. They're pissed off at me. They are upset with me. I said the wrong thing. All of this, and that's not necessarily true. You can always and practicing patience in that moment to just be like, I'm not sure what the answer is, but I'm gonna wait, and then I'll wait, a certain amount of time, and then I'll ask, like, hey, how are you feeling about this? Like, I genuinely want to know how you feel. Can be really powerful. I hope everybody has a great Tuesday. This has been a long video. Okay, see you all tomorrow.